Hey guys, Aaron Radcliffe here with NomadsNation.com, your #1 resource for nomad lifestyle, freaking awesome backpack reviews, and all that good travel shit. And today we're gonna do a massive review of the WANDRD HEXAD Access Backpack Duffel. Oh my God, it's a mouthful, but that's the name. In this review, we're gonna take the backpack through the streets of Ho Chi Minh City so you can see the way that this bad boy looks, the way that it feels, and most importantly, how it functions in an urban environment. In the review, we're gonna tell you everything you need to know. We're gonna talk about the way the pack looks, the way that it feels, the front of it, the middle, the back. We're gonna tear the whole thing apart so you can know if it's the pack for you. And if it's not, I'll make a specific recommendation for what pack I think best suits your travel needs. And finally, guys, before we jump into it, you know this YouTube game. If you like what we're doing, give us a like or subscribe. The more likes and more subscriptions we get, it means we know we're doing a great job. And if we're doing a great job, we're gonna keep making awesome backpack reviews. It's the circle of YouTube life. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the specs of the WANDRD HEXAD Access Duffel Backpack. God, it's such a mouthful. First off, let's talk about the price. This backpack is gonna cost you $259 US. It might sound like a lot, but contextually speaking, you can spend a lot more in a backpack, you can spend a lot less. It's kind of in that middle zone. We'll talk about the value and whether or not I think it's worth it a little bit further in the review. The next thing to talk about is the actual size of the WANDRD HEXAD Access. Now this backpack looks huge, and that's because it's 45 liters. Now for context, 45-liter backpacks are obviously really big, and they serve a specific purpose. I don't recommend a 45-liter backpack for a day pack or an everyday pack. Like, don't use this backpack for your gym or for your going to the office. That's not what this pack is for. What this pack is for, though, is for a few specific things. A, long-term travel. B, weekend, week-long travel. Or C, since WANDRD is technically a photographer backpack company, this is a great pack for anybody who does a lot of photography work and has a ton of DSLR gear. All right, let's talk about the style of the pack. Now, there's two things I want to chat about. First is the color options. You got black, you got blue, you got green. I obviously opted with the black, which, if I could turn back the hands of time, I would have gotten the blue. While I think the black is a great look, and I don't regret it that much, black on black on black is always a classic, but look at the style of this pack. It kind of has like a military sort of tactical bag feel. So when you add that to a black on black on black, you're gonna get kind of just like you're gonna give off like a I'm a badass vibe. Not that that's a bad thing. Like, that could be okay if that's what you're trying to do, but for me, I just wish I would have gone with the blue. All right, dudes, let's discuss the shape. And as you can see, the shape of this backpack is super boxy. There's pros and cons with a boxier shape like this. On the good side, you can just fit more of your okay? With a boxier shape, you're not cutting off the corners. More corners equals more space equals you can pack more stuff. Basic math, guys. But on the cons, I don't think that a boxy shape is necessarily the sexiest. Think about what is sexy: curves, you know? Not hard edges and just boxiness. So you're kind of sacrificing a little bit of style. So this is gonna come down to your personal preference. Do you want more space, hence the boxiness? Or do you want something that's a little bit more circular? Think like the Tortuga set out, or perhaps even the Manal Carry-On 2.0. All right, dudes, let's jump into the way that the WANDRD HEXAD Access feels. First off, exterior materials. You see all this right here? It's got like a smooth sort of leathery look to it, but if you get in a little bit closer, you can see it's bumpier than that. This is tarpaulin. Tarpaulin's great, okay? It gives it that nice, smooth, sexy sleekness, but it's actually super durable and it's waterproof, which is great. Now, this doesn't mean the backpack is waterproof. It just means the material is. Do not throw this backpack into a river. Your will die, okay? But the materials are waterproof. Next up is the interior materials. Yet again, super high quality. They feel fantastic. We'll talk about the interior materials a little bit further in the review when we discuss the middle of the pack. Now let's chat about these zippers and the way the zippers feel. And ultimately, they're awesome. Now I do have some qualms about the zippers. I mean, first of all, they're super smooth. Like, look at that. Like, these are real chunky exterior zippers. Like they got a really nice, sexy sort of slide to them, but you do need to know that they're gonna get caught on these corners a little bit. We'll chat a little bit more about this in depth further in the review, but it's worth noting. But aside from that, like if you look at these zippers and the way that they go and the way that they feel, they're awesome, they're high quality, they feel great, they're satisfying, great zippers. And then for the last part of the feel, guys, like how comfortable is it? Like what does it actually feel like to wear? And the truth is, it's awesome. Now here's the deal. When I got this backpack, it came in the mail and I looked at it and I'm like, you are not gonna be comfortable. But thankfully, I was wrong. It's super comfortable. And this is always the case with WANDRD's products. I've always been pleasantly surprised by their comfort. Think about the WANDRD Provoke 21, which I review as well. Yet again, I love the way that the straps are because they do this like squishiness. Boris, bring it in where you can see like this really nice squishiness to it. It like molds to your body in like a way that no other straps do, and I love them. And then finally with the back padding, it feels great as well, okay? It's got nice ventilation, it's well padded, it feels good. We'll go into this a little bit more into detail further in the review, but more or less, this pack is comfortable, as it should be for $260. Welcome, amigos. All right, now we're moving on. We're checked into our hostel, and we're gonna talk about the front, middle, and the back of the pack, starting with the front. The front of the WANDRD HEXAD Access is easily the most basic and minimalist front to any pack I've ever seen. That's because you're looking at it. This is all there is to it. Lots of other backpacks will have like a middle pocket or like a top pocket or an extra top pocket with zippers and all this stuff. Nothing. You have a single, sleek, leathery, sexy looking panel, and that's it. I love this aspect of the WANDRD Provoke because I think it gives it a little bit of style where the boxy shape loses a bit of its style. I think the WANDRD logo is pretty dope too, if I can say so myself. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we don't want to wear a logo that we don't like. We don't want to wear a logo that looks lame. This logo looks cool. The typography is sweet. I think WANDRD did a really good job with branding and not making this too like in your face. All right, dudes, now let's talk about the middle of the pack. And you might be thinking to yourself, Aaron, you've been like praising this backpack. You're clearly a big fan. No. Those days are over. Truth be told, I like the WANDRD HEXAD Access a lot, and up to this point, I've been very positive about the review, but things are about to change as we get into the middle and more specifically, the back of this pack. First up, let's talk about this top handle. In the world of top handles, it's average, okay? Good thing is there's space. There's an adequate amount of space to grab it, which is good, okay? Because if you're on the go, you wanna be able to grab it really fast. I just think that the padding could have been done a little bit better. They're marketing this as like a duffel with like multiple angles and it's like a backpack and all these different ways that you can grab it. But yet after 20 or 30 seconds, this thing is a little thin and it gets a little uncomfortable. Up next, let's chat about these compression straps. On this side, pretty normal compression straps. They're nylon straps. They'll help you compress your bag, nothing too crazy. But on the flip side, I like these compression straps a lot. So you can see these compression straps have more of like a buckle feature to them. I think these are cool. They add a nice aesthetic while still providing the same features that compression straps need to provide you. And then the coolest part about them is if you want to unclip them, you can actually remove them all together. So you can go ahead, pop these off and say, "Be gone, compression strap. You have no power here." Next up are these side pockets, all right? Now, like I said, WANDRD makes gear that is specifically designed for photographers. So if you're a photographer and you got tons of DSLR gear, you're gonna love this because it's built just for you. These pockets are a prime example of that, okay? Think about like DSLR gear. When you have a ton of it, you want two things. You wanna be able to access it quickly and you wanna be able to pack it in a way that's modular. So look at these side pockets. You can go ahead and grab your DSLR gear. I don't know if you know this, your boy is not a photographer, okay? I cannot shoot photography for so this backpack as a photography bag means nothing to me. But it doesn't mean that there's not functionality with these side pockets. These side pockets are actually pretty cool because they enable you to get things quickly. Like for instance, I got my tech pouch right there. This is the Peak Design tech pouch. I'll put a link to it in the bottom. Or maybe you wanna quickly grab like your bathroom pouch. This is also the Peak Design wash pouch. Link in the bottom. So at the end of the day, these modules just give you the ability to grab things really fast. Like I'm at the hostel right now, we just checked in, like I wanna brush my teeth maybe, boom, I grab that, okay? And then when you're done, you can just go ahead and slide them back in, just like that. Each of these pockets too has a top pocket where you can store other things. I like this for something that I need quick access to, okay? We'll talk about the other quick access pocket on the top, but this is, you know, if you think about it, this is unzipped like this, and you're like in the cab, and like, oh, I need my phone charger. Like, you can go ahead, unwind it, done like that. Like, it's a pretty quick access pocket, more or less. And as you can see with the other side, yet again, the same exact thing. We have the pocket right here. Maybe you want to store your passport in there. It's a nice secure spot for that. And you can just kind of use this to kind of get access to things quickly. Like, oh, I want to jot something down in my notebook. Come on, you're embarrassing me. You can go ahead and grab things real quickly like that. All right, now let's jump into the main compartment of this bad boy, which, like I said, is 45 liters, so it's gonna be big. But notice as we start to kind of get closer and closer to the middle and to the back panel, you're gonna see the problems starting to arise with this backpack. First of which, right here, you wanna open the main area, your compression straps block you. Okay, so you're noticing right here, there's just a lot that's going on, and these different parts and different features are really gonna start to conflict with each other and create friction with their usage with each other. So problem number one is that to get into the main compartment, you gotta undo these compression straps. Once they're undone, you can jump inside. Here we go, bam. Yet again, this is another thing that I didn't think that I would enjoy until I actually started using. And then I was like, this is actually really freaking sweet. And what I'm referring to specifically are these separate compartments. As you can see, on this side, we have one large compartment with a mesh divider, which you can access right here. And then we have two smaller ones. When I first started using this, I thought it was gonna be dumb. I'm like, backpack, I don't need you to help me organize my shit. But then I started to use it and I was like, backpack, thank you for helping me organize my shit. Because truth be told, it actually works out really nicely. So with the two smaller dividers, I like to put my two little pouches in there, okay? And it's just a perfect fit. And then here's something really cool too. If you try to check this out, Boris, you can actually take this panel down and Velcro it right there. And so it actually becomes one panel. So you can use this divider to separate the two, or just have it as one. I like to divide it into two because then I have a smaller one here, a smaller one here, and then on my larger compartment is right there. I like these smaller compartments because yeah, you can put clothes and like tech pouches and stuff, but you can also put like, you know, put your speakers in there, a little bit of, you know, notebooks, whatever it might be. I mean, you can throw anything in these pockets, and it's nice because you can really organize all of your gear. And I want to emphasize the zipping experience is seamless. Like it is just, oh, I mean, do you feel that? Oh my God. So every time you go into this, it's just a joyful experience. Now within the actual main compartment, you can do one of two things. You can A, use this shoe container, which we'll get into in a minute, and fill it with shoes or a pound of cocaine, whatever you want. And then it'll take up more space, or you can take that out and you have an enormous area to put all of your stuff. Yet again, if you have packing cubes, it's gonna be a delight. You can just slide those right in, bada bing, bada boom, and here's that zipper experience. Oh, it's perfect. So more or less, this main compartment is amazing. This is coming from a guy who thought that like forced organization was dumb. Guess what? It ain't dumb, it rocks. Let's talk about the shoe compartment. Very controversial feature in a lot of backpacks. Some people think that shoe compartments are the dumbest thing ever, and those are people who only travel with one pair of shoes, and other people think shoe compartments are like a gift from God, and those people who travel with more than one pair of shoes. So depending on what you travel with will then dictate your feelings about the shoe compartment. But you know, I like shoe compartments because even if you don't use this one and you don't need an extra pair of flippy floppies, then you can put something else in it, or you can just roll it up and not use it. Overall, I think it's a cool feature. Finally, we got the business card slot. Yet again, super unique feature. I've never seen this on another backpack, at least that I've reviewed yet. And basically you have the option to kind of put whatever you want in this little slot, and it's kind of cool, you know? The whole point of this is obviously to put your contact information in there in case that you lose your bag, and hopefully some kind-hearted person delivers it back to you. But also, the unadvertised awesome part of it is like you can like kind of brand your bag with whatever business that you want and throw a little extra flair, a little extra schnazz on there. Visit ditchyourdesk.com. But on the negative side with this is like, if you look at the shape of the backpack, within like 3 hours, it warped this business card. You can see it has utterly destroyed it. So like, don't, you know, it's an okay feature. It's not a great feature, but if you want to throw something in there, throw a little extra personal branding on there and just kind of make your bag your own, it's cool. All right, guys, and then finally, let's take a look at the last part of the bag, which is the back compartment, which can be described in a single word, and that's a nightmare. First up is the back panel tech compartment. So look at this, okay? Right here, you can get access to the back panel, which is actually connected to the main compartment, and it gives you access to your laptop. But here's the deal. You try and open this bad boy up, you can't do it, because the straps literally stop you. This is, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating designs on a backpack that I've ever seen in my freaking life. So the gist is, to actually open this compartment in its entirety, you have to, and I kid you not, fold the shoulder straps around like that, and then finally, you can get a full open and access your laptop. This is so annoying. Like, okay, I understand it's not the end of the world. Like, all you have to do is go from here to here and from here to here, but it's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to get my laptop. And then this is where the entire backpack starts to unravel in terms of its functionality, because there's so many of these little weird functional things and different parts that just run into each other and complicate the functionality of the WANDRD HEXAD Access, which is really unfortunate because things were going so well. So with this entire thing, you just need to take into consideration that like the back of the pack is kind of a logistical nightmare, and that begins and ends with its functionality, and more specifically the zippers, because even though this is the middle of the pack, you can't access these unless you're unclipping the compression straps or you're trying to go around it. And then the same thing with this back panel, you can't also use this, because the thing's in the way, and then you're trying to use this and you can't. And it's just really annoying. I really don't want you to underestimate this. It might just seem like a small thing of the backpack, but think about it. This back compartment holds your laptop, which is something you're gonna wanna grab and quickly access tons of times throughout your travels. This is what you have to do. You have to be like, oh my God, I want my laptop, okay? Then you gotta find the zippers, then you find the zippers, and then the straps are there, and you gotta take this off, and you gotta do this little rotation thing just to be able to get it undone there, and then finally, after all that, you are granted access to your laptop. Now, although it's a logistical nightmare to get actually into the laptop compartment, when you are finally inside of it, it's actually a pretty good laptop compartment. I like this Velcro padding. It's super safe, it's super secure. It's made of nice materials. The laptop is in there, it's nice. It's a good laptop compartment when you can actually get inside of it. Next up, guys, is the sternum strap. As you know, I say this all the time, sternum straps are a little bit of a controversial feature. I love them. A lot of people hate them, but the good news is that if you hate them, these are one of the easier removable sternum straps I have seen. WANDRD has a cool like piping mechanism right here, so all you do is you slide this right off, give it a little pull right there, and then boom, sternum strap is removed. And you can do it. Well, that one's actually kind of hard. All right, we gotta do that again. Because I gotta be honest with the people, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Aaron, you should just show them how hard it is. You're making me look like an idiot. Look stupid. That one took a little bit more time, but I figured it out. Now, the good news about the sternum strap is that it's removable. The bad news about the sternum strap is good luck getting it the back on. Heed this advice. If you take off the sternum strap, it might be a permanent decision. I literally cannot get the thing back on. Like, we've been trying for like 5 minutes. Next, check out these shoulder straps. As I mentioned previously, super comfortable, and I like the look of them too. They're not too wide. They've got a thinness to them. I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. But yeah, I just want you to know that they are super comfortable. Like I said, getting that padding has like this malleable mushiness to it. Let's say that 10 times fast. Malleable mushiness. And then also, the cool part is these shoulder straps are in fact removable. So you can unclip them right here, take them off, and boom, backpack no more. Although I will say, I don't think it's a smart idea to remove the shoulder straps, because then you're missing the duffel feature, which is right here, which I'll talk about in a second, and your backpack straps, and the only way to carry it are going to be with these average handles. I kind of reviewed this earlier because they got the same handle on the top. I like these less and less by the day. At the end of the day, it gets the job done, but there's not really a lot of intuition that was put into these, and I do like a beefier kind of a handle with more padding because ultimately this isn't that comfortable. Now, let's talk about the duffel, because the official name of this pack is the WANDRD HEXAD Access Duffel. But for a duffel, it's not really duffely. What WANDRD did was they had a kind of an innovative feature where they cut down the width of the shoulder strap on both of them. So when you want to carry this bad boy, all you do is boom, grab it right there. In theory, it sounds like a super innovative feature and you're like, damn, you are smart, but in implementation, it's just kind of okay. You can grab it, but like the double strap thing is a little awkward. It doesn't fit your hand as well as you'd like it to. It's not really an adequate substitute for a duffel strap. And that brings me to a really important point about this pack is that don't get this if you need a duffel bag first and a backpack second. The reason for buying this pack is because you want a backpack, a nice backpack that has a little bit of nightmare logistics in the back, but more or less a great backpack that you also like to double as a duffel here and there. I emphasize, this is a backpack first and a duffel as a very, very distant second. Boris, who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Spider-Man.
Up next is the actual back panel, which I'm a big fan of, okay? I've been talking a lot of shit about this pack. Let's get back to some good, positive juju, because the back of the pack is really nice. Super comfortable, it's well padded, but also being firm, but like a good firm. And then there's enough carvings in this foam to get really proper ventilation and ensure your entire back is nice and breezy, baby. Ventilation is tight, sweaty back sucks. Also worth noting, I always like a good branding logo, and right here WANDRD has put their logo beautifully in the center of the pack. It might be a little like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle-y for some. It's kind of like got like a turtle shell vibe to it, but more or less I like the back panel and it's really comfortable. Remember we talked about at the front there was no quick access pocket. The WANDRD HEXAD Access does not have it on the front. It's got it on the back. But yet again, we've got some confusion going on here because there's this feature where you can get into the pocket right there, but there's a way to close the pocket as well. I have no freaking clue why WANDRD did this, and you can't even close the pocket unless you disconnect the actual straps. It just seems like a complete waste of actual space and additional zippers. I've never used it. I don't know why I'd want to close the quick access compartment when the whole point is to access it quickly. But if you zip it open, you can see you have a nice, easy, quick access compartment there. Keep your computer charger, whatever it might be. The whole point of this pocket is to put things in there that you want to grab in a jiffy, like my AirPods. So it was hot as balls outside, so we decided to take the review back to our co-working space to wrap this guy up. Before we do though, let's talk about a few more really important parts, starting with the overall pros and the cons of the WANDRD HEXAD Access Duffel Backpack. It's too long of a name. The first pro of this pack is the materials. Made with tarpaulin, it's got like a super sleek, leathery, sexy kind of a look to it, and I really like it. From afar, it looks really smooth and like leathery, but actually when you get closer up, there's kind of a scaliness to it, but I think it looks fantastic, it feels fantastic, it's really great materials. The second overall pro is going to be the internal organization. When you get into the main compartment, you have the two smaller mesh compartments and the one larger mesh compartment. And I'll be honest, the crazy part is I didn't think that I would like them. I saw that and I was like, don't you tell me how to organize my life, WANDRD HEXAD Access Duffel Backpack. But then it told me how to organize my life and I actually genuinely adored it. Like these sections are great and I really grew to love them. And finally, the last pro is that while this is a 45-liter backpack and while it is still kind of bulky, it's less bulky than most 45-liter backpacks are. If you compare this to the Tortuga Set Out or the Tortuga Outbreaker or the Nomadic Travel Pack or any of the other 40 to 45 to 50-liter bags, this is actually really slender. It's actually got a longer sort of build to it as opposed to a wider build. This is great because when you're wearing like the Outbreaker, it's like this big ass box on your back. It's like a turtle shell, man. You're moving around, you're catching on shit. It's like, it's really annoying, but with the HEXAD Access, it's a little bit of a thinner profile, which kind of gives it a more seamless travel experience. But hold on, while I am certainly adamant about some things on this bag, other things not so much. Let's jump into the cons of the WANDRD HEXAD Access bag. I can't even say it. First off, the overall con number one is that the back panel is a functional disaster. There are zippers and weird compartments and the compression straps get in the way and the shoulder straps get in the way, and it's in a word, it's a nightmare and I hate it. The second overall con kind of builds upon that, where the back panel is a disaster because it's just so many zippers and buckles. Really, a lot of the bag feels overly cluttered particularly with all of the zippers and the buckles. So when I say that, you have to understand this is the complete opposite of a minimalist backpack. This backpack has so much going on that, in my opinion, it's just way too much going on, as to where the user experience really suffers because of it. And then the third overall con is the laptop compartment. It's really difficult to get to. Now this is a part of the back panel, so yet again we're just building upon criticism of this back panel, but it's worth sort of isolating and mentioning this because the whole point of a laptop compartment is to get quick access. You're in the airport, you're going through security, you whip your bag off, laptop out, put it in the bin. With the HEXAD Access, it's like you take your backpack off and clutters everywhere, and then you have to like remember which zipper is for that is that for that compartment, and then you try and open it, and then the shoulder straps are in the way and you're snagged, and then you know the security guard's like, hey, come on buddy, because you're in New York and he's got a New York accent, you know, he's like, hey, hurry it up, and you're like, I'm trying, and then you know it's a nightmare. So with that, the laptop compartment is one of the most confusing parts. It's just difficult to get to and it's freaking annoying. So with all those pros and the cons and everything we've talked about, overall we give this a Nomads Nation score of 3 out of 5 stars. It's just kind of a way for us to quantify the value that we think that the backpack has. 3 out of 5 stars means that we think this is a good backpack, just not a great backpack. So with so many backpacks on the market, I like to take this time to clarify exactly who I think this bag is perfect for and who it's definitely not for. Let's talk about who this pack is for. In my opinion, this pack is perfect for you if you just love the way that it looks and don't mind sacrificing some functionality. I emphasize the way that it looks because at the end of the day, I don't think this is the best 45-liter backpack on the market. In fact, I don't even think it's like a top 5 45-liter backpack. But if you're looking at this thing and like your eyes are like, you know, like you're like, oh my God, this thing is gorgeous and I love the way this backpack looks, then I will not stand in your way and you have my blessings to get this pack. Reason being that although it's not my favorite and although that there is definitely some sacrificing of functionality with some of these features, like more or less it's still a really good pack, and if you like the way that it looks and you think this is kind of your vibe, then dude, more power to you, get that shit. The other type of person I think this pack is perfect for is somebody who carries a ton of DSLR gear. I don't think I made enough note of this earlier. WANDRD really makes gear and backpacks for photographers, particularly for photographers who have a ton of DSLR equipment. This backpack is designed for like a freelance photographer or videographer who wants to access his equipment quickly and keep that equipment safe. If that sounds like you, I'm gonna be honest, this is probably not my absolute favorite DSLR gear backpack, but it's a really good one and I think you'll be pleased with it. But ultimately, those are like the only 2 cases that I would like really enthusiastically recommend this backpack. Let's, on the flip side, talk about who this backpack is not for. But if it's not for you, I'll give you a recommendation for what pack I think is for you. And here's the deal, we'll keep this nice and simple. First off, this pack is not for you if you want a smaller day-to-day backpack. Should go without saying, this is 45 liters, it's massive. If you need a day pack, you should be looking at 20 to 30 liters. If that sounds like you, check the links below. I've got some awesome day pack recommendations down there. And then the second type of person that this backpack is not for is that anybody who's looking for a 45 liter, like a big travel backpack, but like you're looking for one of the best ones. Ultimately, like I said, this is a good travel pack. I don't think it's the best. And if you're looking for a 45 liter travel backpack to last you the test of time, it's just not gonna be my highest recommendation. If you're looking for somewhat of a larger travel backpack and something that's not that I think is good, something that's more on the great range, check the links below. I'm gonna blow your mind with some of the travel packs we got down there. If you have made it this far in review, guys, I have to tell you something that while these reviews are free to watch, they are far from free for us to make. They take an enormous amount of time, money, and not to mention emotional support that Boris has to give me on a day-to-day basis. So if you're looking to support the channel, please, the easiest thing to do is give us a like or subscribe or comment below. All of those things helps with the YouTube algorithm, which means that more people can watch our videos, which means that we'll make more videos. But also, if you're thinking about buying a backpack, please use the links below. Reason is those are called affiliate links, and affiliate links means that you get the best price and that we get a small commission from the seller at no additional cost to you. Those links are what pays the bills, okay? And if we can pay the bills, then we're gonna keep making awesome backpack reviews just like this. That's it, we're done. I'm in Vietnam. I'm gonna go get me a Saigon beer and a pho. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you guys next time. It's an evil laugh. In the world of backpacks, you can spend a lot less, and you can spend a lot more. So choose. You let me down. $260 wasted. It's rectangular, rectilinear. There's pros and cons with a I don't know my shapes. I failed geometry, okay? I'm not good at math. Really funny.
Am I right?
That's great, yeah, exactly. He's always
DC Comics, right?
been my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for sure.